instance, thus debunking the Bible. See, this is an attack on the Bible, and that's another thing you said. This is how we know you're a devil. This is how you know Dr. Ali Muhammad is a devil. This is how you know. How you gonna say Seti and Polite did a disservice? Disservice to what? Y'all don't believe the same things. You supposedly a Muslim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seti and Polite don't believe the same thing. What they do a disservice to? What is this really an attack on?
They got a tag team.
You niggas tag teaming?
They got a
Come on, man. Niggas been sent away with L's for a reason, man.
Mm-hmm.
For a reason. You can't defeat the God of Israel, man. And you ain't as trained in your doctrine as a real soldier of the Most High, because that's what we do. We study this. So you're not going to be able to come up with your little penny-ante argument and think the script ain't got an answer. What you need to be asking yourself is why my book don't do that. Why my book can't defend itself. Because it's not alive, man. It's not alive, man. Let's read Proverbs 14 and 15, bro. Proverbs 14 and 15. Research already been done, man. And it's not to be boastful. It only humbles you more. You know what I'm saying? Because it constantly confirms what it is that you already felt in spirit. You already felt it. So when you read it in the scripture, it was a second witness to what you already was feeling. You see what I'm saying? That's what that's about. It was confirming what you already knew from the jump. That's why. That's why the slavery kicked off. That's why we did. That's why. You feel me? You start getting answers. Why the other books don't do that? If they saying the Bible was stolen out of Egypt, make them niggas stay in the Egyptian Book of the Dead and show you. And the Medu Netta and show you it was stolen out of Egypt. You feel me? We gonna let the Bible answer for itself. They should be able to do the same thing with any doctrine they under. If he's a Muslim, Dr. Ali Muhammad, go into the Quran and let's go bar for bar, verse for verse.
Yeah. Let's
go verse for verse and see which will prevail, man. All right, come on, brother. Proverbs 14 and 15.
Proverbs 14 and 15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going.
The simple would have believed you. You see that? That's why we made this. Like, oh no, y'all not doing the debate to me, but you talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, and because you got the term doctor behind your name, you feel me? You talking like it's all a myth made up, and you just laughing like, look, man. Look, go deal with somebody. Go deal with some Moors or something, man. You ain't going to be able to deal with the Israelites. Can't none of y'all deal with the men of the Lord. You can't. And look, amongst us, we got in-house problems going on, man. You feel me? Amongst the Israelite camp, like we already got in-house problems going on. You so-called comedic Negroes, just sit on down over there and go debate some niggas or something, man. Yeah. We got divisions amongst ourselves, doctrinal issues. You feel me? Different things, different ways brothers view the scriptures or whatnot. You feel me? Let us deal with that. We don't need to be dealing with y'all. Y'all of your father the devil. And how we know, because you wouldn't say these things knowing these things was out here. And if you don't know, what kind of doctor are you? How you a doctor in what? And you don't know none of this stuff. Ain't none of us went to school and got certified.
A doctor in deceiving. That's what it is.
A doctor in deceiving. Page 71, Caldwell. It says, the Caldwells are believed to have arrived in southwestern Scotland from France around 1550. Their somewhat jumbled origin story is given below. Despite some obvious inaccuracies, what is instructive about it is the report of long-term religious harassment by the Catholic Church in Spain and of the dark Mediterranean complexions of the Caldwells upon their arrival in Scotland. King James was the king of Scotland, right? Married into the Douglas family. The Stuarts go back to King David. Stuart is coming from the word swarthy, which means dark skin. Come on, man. Because the reason y'all silent about the history of the brothers in Europe is because then you would have to give validity to the same book you've been saying is the white man's book. Yeah. You feel me? Y'all give too much credit to the white man, man. He ain't, look, he only got a short time to rule and he going down, but the only book talk about it is the Bible. Blow by blow, what nation's gonna rise? What we seeing in Russia and Ukraine and NATO and what we seeing with the EU and America and the financial collapse, brother, you gonna read that here. in the Bible, the Holy Scriptures. You ain't gonna read that nowhere else, man. Because it's a book of prophecy, brother. Trip off this. All right, let me flip on over. Go a couple more. I had a couple more to go to. 61, 71. What page was that? 71. That's where I wanted to go, right there. So that's it for that book right there. Next thing we're going to do is grab 1 John 4:1, brother. Next thing we're going to do is grab Nature Knows No Color Line. Now, this book here was by a brother, J.A. Rogers, who lived during the early 19th century, or the early 1900s, should I say, early 20th century. You see that? J.A. Rogers, he's a brother, and went over to Europe himself and did his own research. Nature Knows No Color Line. We getting that next. What that say, brother?
1 John 4:1.
It's 4:1.
Beloved, believe not every spirit.
Believe not every spirit. Don't believe every word, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it sound good. All right, come on, brother.
But try the spirits,
Right.
whether they are of God. Because many false prophets are gone out into the world.
See that? So we're ordered to try the spirits, whether they be of God. And then it says many. That means the majority of these men you seeing on YouTube and of these various, man, all of them deceive us, man. They're not spirits of God. In a minute, Sarnetta, you going to have to choose a side, man. You ain't going to be able to tap in. The Lord don't deal with tap dancers. You feel me? The Lord don't deal with tap dancers. You going to have to choose up in a minute and destroy them idols like sitting behind your couch and get up out of that whole black power, man. That went out the door with like the bell bottoms, man. That's being played out, man. Get that going somewhere, man. We Israelites. And it's time for us to stand up for our God, because only divine intervention is going to deliver us, man. What you talking about? These heathens got satellites, drones. You niggas just now getting AKs? Come on, man. Let's get back to our God. All right, go ahead, brother. Was that the end of that verse?
That was the end of verse 1, yes.
That's it for that. Page 27. Trip off this right here. Nature knows no color line. The scripture straight tell us to try the spirit, right? Whether they be of God. Y'all act like we haven't done research. This right here is page 27, Negroes in Ancient Greece. All right? J.A. Rogers, a brother, put this together himself. All right? Page 29. Negroes were first worshipped in Greece and Rome. White masses bowed down to black deities. The rites of Apollo were founded by Delphos and his Negro mother, Melanin, huh? And the worship of black Isis and Horus was popular in Rome. And the Roman colonies as far north as Britain. King James was the king of Scotland and Britain, Great Britain. When this latter evolved into the worship of the Black Madonna and Black Christ, Christian whites also bowed down to them. In fact, one of these Black Madonnas was a Sudanese woman of the 13th century A.D. There were also Negro saints of the Catholic Church in Europe. Don't we got them pictures in there? Find that in there, bro. We got pictures of black popes. Let's not act like see, y'all can get away with that because the vibration is white folks have always been in Europe and ran Europe. You feel me? In fact, the prophecy says Esau was promised no land, so everywhere he goes, he conquers. Everywhere he goes, he conquers. By thy sword thou shalt live. He lives by the sword, man. He don't know nothing about all that marching. We shall overcome that. That don't mean nothing to him. The Edomite live by the sword, man. That's the prophecy went out on. Genesis 25. So let's stop acting as if it'll never be a race thing. It always has been. It always has been nations against nations. You feel me? It always has been that. It always been who you are and where you from and who's your God. And what are your customs? You see that? All right, page 30. Page 31. Negroes, as was said, were deified in early Greece. They appear as gods in Greek mythology. The chief title of Zeus, greatest of the Greek gods, guess what his title was? Ethiops. That is black. That's where you get Ethiopia from. That's the land of Cush. Kawash. That's the land of Cush. They put the name Ethiopia on it, but why it means black is why dark-skinned people were living there. You see that? But nevertheless, they're not the nation black, they're the nation Ethiopia. And from the description of Ethiopians in early Greek writings, there can be no doubt of their identity with living Negroes. Xenophanes of about 550 BC spoke of their black skin and flat noses, and Herodotus, 450 BC, not only does the same, but adds that the Egyptians were like them. Again, Strabo, 1st century BC geographer, wrote of the Ethiopians' black complexion and woolly hair. So you got from the 6th and 5th century BC all the way up to the 1st century, and the Ethiopians are described as what? Negroes. Then he said the Egyptians are just like them. Negro. How come Israelites were mistaken for Egyptians?
Yeah.
And the Lord compares to Ethiopians. So you men don't know your scriptures. You say Hebrew people or white people. What are you talking about? Unless you're talking about the Hebrew Edomites. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're straight mad because you don't know what you're talking about.
At all. And
people believe you. Now trip off this. It says, Snowden says that the Greeks regarded blackness as typical of the Ethiopians' color is apparent not only from descriptions of the Ethiopian skin as the blackest in the world, but the proverbial to wash an Ethiopian white. Homer, in an often quoted passage, tells how the Greek gods used to go on their feast days to Ethiopia to commune with their ancestors. Dionysus wrote upon the great Atlantic near the Isle of Eritrea, for its pastures famed. The sacred race of Ethiopians dwell. Yeah, now going there to show you, black folks been in Europe and Asia and all over the place, man, since even before the birth of our Lord, man. What are you talking about? Page 32. Negroes from ancient Greece. Page 33. Zoom in on that real quick, Doc. Trip off that. I got that too. The Black Pope, Galatius. Or that's Sir Victor right there. Trip off this right here. Negroes in ancient Greece.